All right, this lesson comes to you from page 74 in the book, talking about the percent of increase or decrease, how much something changes. So your essential question will be, how do I find the percent of increase or decrease? And then what does that mean? What does a percent of increase or a percent of decrease mean? So right away you have the vocabulary. The percent that an amount changes from the original is called the percent of change. So for an example, you wouldn't just say, how many did it go up or how many did it go down? You would say, what percent from the original did it go up or go down? All right, so to find that, you would take the amount that it changed divided by the original. You want to have all of this in your notes, and so go ahead and pause so that you can take a good notes. If the amount increases, the ratio will be positive, and that's called a percent of increase, meaning maybe because of inflation, milk is more than it was last year, you would find the percent of increase. If the amount goes down, then you would say that's a negative ratio and that the percent decreased. So here's the formula. You really want to stick to that, and I'll show you why. You want the original amount. So in your book, it'll say something like last year, or it'll give you a previous year, and then they'll compare it to now or a more current year, and that's your final. And then you take the difference between those two and divide it by the original. So once again, if you need to rehear me say it because you were busy writing, go ahead and go back and listen to that again, because that's important. In fact, to be honest, as I was taping the first round, I made a couple mistakes where I actually put the final in the denominator and got a wrong answer. And so make sure you always put the original first, subtract from the final from the original, and divide by the original, and it really matters which one you put where. So that's so important. And then last step, at the end, you'll change the decimal to a percent. All right. So last year, as you can hear, that means the original. The price of a movie was $6.50. This year, meaning the final, the price is $7.25. Find the percent of change. So by what percent did it go up? And I just gave it away where I said, is that an increase or a decrease? Well, as you can tell, the price went up. And so we know right away that's an increase. Or you could wait till you got to the end and found out, oh, is it positive or negative? But it helps me just to go to the original and say, oh, it went up. Okay, so you'll take the final, which is $7.25, and subtract the original. Whoops. There you go. So the final and subtract from the original, or the original from the final, and then divide by the original. So here you have, oh, it went up by 75 cents. Divide that by the original amount. So in your calculator, you do 75 hundredths divided by 6.5. And you would get the answer, well, 115 thousandths. I think if I remember right, there was a lot more after that, and I just rounded. But to show you that, you look at that 5, round the 1 up to a 2, move the decimal 2 places, and now you have 12%. So you would say the ticket price went up 12%. So you would say that 75 cents is how much it went up, but the percent compared to the original is 12%. All right, a new one. In 2013, students, so you can tell right away that's the final, or I'm sorry, original. That's the original, I'm sorry. 2013, students read an average of 215 books a month. In 2014, students read an average of 195 books per month. What was the percent of change? Well, I look right away, and I can tell right away in 2014, students read less books per month. And so we're going to see this is a decrease, percent of decrease. Okay, so you would say the final minus the original, that's going to give you the negative number, divided by the original. So final minus the original, divided by the original. So they read 20 books less a month, divided by how many they originally read. And it's a negative, you could say just 9/100ths, but I put the 3 there so you'd say, oh, to keep the 9 and 9, so you'd say it went down 9%. They read 9% less than they had the year before. All right, last month, that sounds like original to me, Kate ran 36 miles. This month, she ran 45 miles. What is the percent of change? So here you go. The final minus the original divided by the original. Ah, she's running more now. Oops, I don't know why we get that little glitch. There we go. Okay, she's running more now. And you'd say 9 divided by 36. And some of you who are so sharp, I'm sure you see that's the same as 1/4 or 25/100ths and 25%. So she's running 25% more than she did last month. And that's it. If you have any questions, we'll go over them tomorrow. Great job taking good, thorough notes.